Okay, I'm listening to some light, copyright-free music. Anyway, hi, I'm Mel with Asphyxia Resin, and I had poured this earlier in the first part of this video. A lot of people have a problem getting the lights to stay in. I hot glue them. Now here's the thing. You have to keep it away from the edges. And I did start it because that first part was just, it's hard to get it matched up with the house windows on this mold to make it look like there's a light shining in those windows. And also don't put the hot glue on the lights. It's the only thing I hate about hot glue is the strings. And I have my trusty little thing here, helps keep it pinned. Well, that's not going to work as planned, is it? Okay, so we'll go like this. And you can add more lights. I just use usually 2 strips per chime, sign, whatever you're going to use them for. We're going to make chimes out of these. We feel that the world could use some holiday chimes. Okay, so that came out of there. So I'm going to do some pinch that shut. Arg. Try not to pull it away from the edge. Sometimes things just kind of have to work with it, but you definitely want to keep this wire away from the edge. Which I'm going to work on here. I may have to put a little bit more glue than I normally would. You want the glue away from the edge because it will pull apart on you, the resin. And that glue is too close to the edge. So you can yoink, push it down. And this resin isn't fully set, so that kind of helps a little bit. Okay. Kind of have to bend it as you go. Sometimes it actually benefits it to one's going to be so close to the edge. Okay. Too close to that edge. Kind of wanted to go kind of at an angle, but it's not quite wanting to stay. Maybe I can get it to stay. There we go. So once you find the right spot, because you really don't want the, and I'm trying to keep the glue off of the light, which sometimes is trickier than it appears. But that stayed off the edge and the resin will cover it, so we're good. Wink. Comes right off of these. It doesn't really matter as long as it's going to be covered by the resin how far you can do stuff. But you always want this, which can be tricky, especially with this really tight close quarters mold, to keep it from the edge. Almost burnt myself. So the thing I don't like about hot glue guns is, and I just got on the light. Now reversing that, but it's still shiny, so I just got a little bit. But your whole goal is to get this through here and keep it from touching the edges. You can add more lights. You can go around a couple times with lights if it's more about preference. As far as, you know, taking the steps you need to, that you want your art to be. I'm really trying to do this fast, and I got on the light again. Try to avoid that, really. So if you get too much on it, the light won't shine. Because hot glue tends to, well, I have clear hot glue and it's still a little opaque, so, and you really want to try to avoid these areas, because that's where it's going to hang on chain. What I'm trying to do is create it. I love to put the lights in these stars, and honestly, it's kind of a pain in the booty. But we're going to try to do this one, because this one's one of the tinier stars. And yes, I've done this before, and that unfortunately is going to go a little on the edge. Like I said, try to avoid it. Just the more you avoid it, the better. But sometimes, no, I'm nowhere near my finger. It just looks like I am. I'll be pulling those off before I pour the resin over it. Let's see how I want to kind of pin that. Oh, it is away from the edge just enough. Good, 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 good. Can I give it a wiggle? We can also get hot glue to cool faster by blowing on it. Come on. There we go. Yes, sometimes it'll get a little stuck, but it tends to peel right off. And then any hot glue you get on it, you can just peel it right off. And remember, this isn't like, this is only for like internal stuff. And actually what I'm going to do with this is create kind of a, there we go. And then I will pin that. Just a minute to get that right angle on that to go up. And I'm going to see if I can get this away from the edge a little bit more. Is this easy? No. Take some practice. Yeah, it really does look easier than it is. Kind of why I did the house first, because you also kind of want a light in the point of each letter, but it doesn't always work the way you want it to. So to catch this and pull it, there we go. You straighten. Thanks. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to pin it before I do anything else. See, the first one we had a problem with getting the lights to stay down in the resin because they do float. Now another thing you can do as well, it's still tacky. You can press the lights in. I found that it just causes too many problems. Like, you get resin all over you. Even with gloves, like, it creates a mess. A mess that isn't so fun. Now keep in mind, I'm not using resin right now, that's why I'm not wearing gloves. And honestly, you do not want to melt one of our gloves on you. Yeah, that hurt. It's just better to kind of, and it's okay if it gets a little close to the edge, but you really, and that's why I use this tool too, is it'll bend the wire and place it where I want it. And as you can see, the resin really isn't set all the way, which is a benefit to me right now. Had to think about that process. And yeah, the silicone is fine with the hot glue. Okay, so I put some down in there, I think. Oh yeah, bugger. Do need just a dot. We'll go ahead and do this. That way it'll glue the light down in. It will shine through the hot glue, just not as great. But it will pin it to where I need it, so I'm going to take this as a win. Okay, keep going here. Fortunately, this next one is where I kind of have to loop it through twice. I hate when that hot glue stuck to me. It's alright. Okay, it was cold. Well, cold enough to not burn me. Yeah, it's a bad place for that. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and here, spin this. This really does take a long time. So this is a long video, you guys. I mean, I think you get the gist of it. You also have this end, which can be used to press it down as well. Go ahead. Before you pour the resin, make sure that there's no hot glue up on the mold. It will affect your pouring. Which I have some right here, which I'm going to have to get out, which, by the way, it just comes right off the silicone mold. So what I'm going to do, come down here. Oh, perfect. It's going to highlight that first part of that R in a perfect place. Yeah, give me an edge. Come down here. Just remember, I didn't put one in this side of the H. It's kind of a loop-de-loop thing that we can do here. But I do need this down. This one's actually going to go pretty fast. See how it lights it up? And then I need to kind of go... Well, I guess I could do that. Let me get this pinned, because you don't want to go too far without pinning, otherwise it'll mess stuff up. And you really, like I said, you want to try to make sure there's enough of an edge for the resin to bond on top of it into the lower layer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin that away from the edge. Here and press that down because it's being a booger. Yep, still away from the edge. Just barely was on the edge, okay? So I want to get that away from the edge. There we go. It is pinned. And that's pinned enough. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. Now that I have that pinned, work over here This one is going to have 2 sets of lights. That one's kind of, I think I need to bring it. If there's any way. You can manipulate these. And that's really the good point about I call them fairy lights. They're usually advertised as fairy lights too. Pinch. Go like that. Yeah, I'm not liking that. Okay, put that back. Interesting, no matter how many times you try to plan it out, it can come out significantly different than what you planned. I don't want that to touch that edge. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this. Because that'll, oh, you booger. Okay. See how that works too? Make sure that stays. Let's get ready to manipulate that a little bit. These can also work for pinning. It's just the tools I have on hand right now. Now, we have managed to get those 2 pinned down. It's still a little hot, so I think if I stick it right there, it will stay. Hoping. Doesn't mean we're gonna get a win on this one. Oh, come on. Don't want to break that pin. Okay, there we go. Okay. Just as you need it, go along. Come on. Pin. There's already some hot glue there. I can just scrape it across. Kind of skip that over. And yes, you can manipulate the hot glue while it sets. Or be more flat if you want it. And then, see, it comes right off. This one's gonna be a little all close to the edge. So I'm trying to get it to bend right here, which is going to be a booger. Because the resin's not fully set, it is kind of being a little bit more nicer to me than normal. You can do it full set, you can do it partially set, you can do, like I said, you can even try it to push it down when it's a little tacky, but I found that everything sticks to resin except for glass. Metal, plastic. So there's a reason I am doing this. Okay, so I kind of need this down here because it'll match up better than trying to do it the other way to the R. And we're almost done with this round, and I'm going to show you how I tie that off so that you do not, because resin will slice through these wires. We've had it happen when I first started doing this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pin that again. There is a method to my madness, I swear. Okay. Sometimes we'll do 3. This one right here is so easy. Gotta pin that. Okay. So to this one, I'm going to go ahead and end this part of the video because I just wanted to show you how you could pin it with the hot glue. And then I'll do a quick video right before I pour it to show you the end result of me pinning everything. But star is going to be a booger. It wasn't supposed to be. Okay. You, get down in there. You, come with me. Yeah, I talked stuff. Okay. I just really like the lights on this and the stars. It looks cute. Even end result. There we go. You back down. I don't want your being a booger. Okay, and I'm going to pin it here because they're pretty much away from the edge all the way. Just straight down, and then I'll pin it with this while it dries. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end it, and this is one of the reasons I was waiting to show you because I knew I was at the end of the cord. Okay, so you need to make sure it's fully pinned at the end. On the light. Adjust that just a second. I might use 3 fairy lights on this one. We'll see at the end. Okay, so you want this glued. See how that has the plastic right here? Okay, you want that glued down because you want that, and actually it's better to do it like this. Bend that part if it'll bend. Some of them won't. But this one, I don't think it's got a choice because I'm not playing. Because it keeps that edge protected. And as you can see, we do full line here. Come on. There we go. My hot glue isn't coming out. And I will peel off all that excess, but I am going to pin it down in. See, and because there's edges, I'm going to pull it up over. I don't want it to touch that edge. Okay, it's going to kind of wrap around that little piece of plastic. Okay, so you can see kind of where this is going to come out of the resin. I want it to be right here. So this is the one part it's really important. Before you pour the resin, which I'm also going to show, you're going to put a ring of hot glue around this and kind of protect this, because, and I'll show that once I'm done. I'm just going to kind of let it be for now. I'll show it on the next video because I'm going to finish this up and then I'm going to pour the resin. So what you need to do is you're going to cover this in hot glue, and the reason why is when it's left like this, the resin cuts through it. It just slices the wire, just slices it because it's so sharp. So that hot glue kind of creates a plug to hold this still, and you have less of an issue. So on the next video I will have this completely done so I can show you what it looks like before I pour the resin, and I will also have the plugs created for this so that the resin doesn't cut through it. Okay, and I will have this all done, and that'll be the next video showing you what the lights look like when I'm finished gluing it, because an hour video is kind of ridiculous. Well, I thank you. Have a good night, day, wherever you may be. Have fun.